leadership of Marc. What do you think is the strongest point of him, taking into account that he was back more than 30 points and now is leading the championship?
I think Marc showed us that he is fast on the wet and on the dry. So he was more constant every time on the top in the last few races. So that's why he recovered some points. And, you know, he did a really good job. Now we have to improve on the wet. We know it's our target, and for sure we're going to improve a lot. In Brno, I already felt really good on the wet. We improved a little bit. So I think from here until the last race of the season can be wet. So we have to improve even more.
Yes, I think that is fast in all the conditions, wet and dry, but especially this year he was able to be fast in all the tracks. For me, sometimes I'm competitive, but in some other tracks I suffer a lot, and I was very far from the top. So I think for this reason.
Valentino, you are the most experienced of all riders, and there is no Ducati rider here. Are you considering, as you saw also Jorge and Dovi in Brno, and also Petrucci, that Ducati is still the favorite in this track?
It's very difficult to say, because this year changed a lot every racetrack. But I consider the Ducati, the bike and the riders to beat here, like last year. I hope that we can be closer, but Dovi is always very strong, and also in the race in Brno, he was very fast. And also Lorenzo, for sure, you know that this weekend can be a good chance for try to win. And he will give the maximum, because also in the test on Monday he was very strong in the pace. And also Petrucci, that this year is fast, can fight for sure for the podium.
This is for, I guess, Valentino and for Dani as the most experienced riders. Last year there were some concerns here about the barriers being very close to the track. Did you ask for any changes? Have you had any changes? What's your opinion this year?
I think that in a track where the average and the top speed is like this, so is very high, but especially is high during all the lap. Unfortunately, the runoff area is never enough, because it's very difficult. I think that have maybe 2 or 3 points that are a bit dangerous, but sincerely I don't remember if they modify something compared to last year. Anyway, tomorrow we go on the track, and tomorrow afternoon we will speak together for the safety commission.
Yeah, pretty much similar, because I don't remember exactly at the end if they modified any part of the track. I yesterday walked around and I can still see 2-3 points which the wall is too close for the speeds we have at that point. Obviously, like Valentino says, tomorrow we'll check again and see what chance we have for the future.
Question for Marc and Maverick. We're 10 races into the season and we still haven't seen a proper battle between the two of you on track. Are you as surprised as we are, and why do you think that is?
I don't know. Brno was the first time that we were together on the podium. Since Brno, we always, if one was on the podium, the other one was out of the podium. But in the end, you know, different bikes, different riding styles. So everybody is doing his best on his strong circuits. But anyway, of course, sooner or later, maybe last year, for example, here we see a fight with 4 riders in the 2 Yamaha and 2 Ducati. But we will see. In the end, for me, the most important is try to be there in front, try to be in the podium all the time, and doesn't matter who is in front or who is behind.
Yeah, normally when one had a good weekend, the other one had really bad weekend, so it was difficult to find each other on the track. But anyway, as Marc said, finally the objective is the same, trying to win the race. If not, being on the podium, it's the most important objective this year. Until now, you have to be really, you know, constant, and be regularly on the podium gonna be the key, you know, to be fighting for the title until the end.
Question for Valentino. Looking back to the Czech GP, with all your experience, do you think that taking the start with slick tires could have been an option?
Yeah, looking, thinking after the race, for sure, if you start with the slick, you can win, yes. But was a difficult, for sure was a risk, and also on the grid, restart to rain, because have the sun, but also have the rain. And you cannot modify just the tire on the grid, but you have to go to take the other bike, because if not, just with the tire, is not a good option. So you have to decide before arrive on the grid, and maybe it was not enough dry. But also, I think a lot of people were scary about restart to rain or drying up not quick.
Question to Dani and Vale. Talking about the safety in the pit lane, we were talking during the flag to flag. You're the most experienced, and for sure, I think we will talk in the safety connection about. Do you have any effective idea of how you can change the rule and make it better? Because anyway, you're gaining seconds in the pit lane while you're gaining 10th of seconds on the track, and this is really important.
I think that one way maybe is to go more slow on the pit. But after it's difficult for the temperature of the tires, especially when you pass from rain to slick. And maybe we have to have some more clear rules about who have to pass before. Because I don't see very well the incident between Espargaro and Iannone, and maybe we have to speak in a better way, that the people that arrive behind have in this case Espargaro have to wait that the other guy pass. But I don't see very well the images, and for sure tomorrow I think we will speak about.
Well, for sure it was a little bit drama there in this race, obviously because nobody expect the track to dry that quick, and then many mechanics were not ready with the bikes, etc. I think, like Valentino said, one thing is the speed, but we have to check. Many pit lanes are so long, so it's hard for the tires. One option, it could be working. We will discuss tomorrow. I think is separate a little bit the MotoGP teams. You know, like doing MotoGP, Moto2, MotoGP, Moto2. So we have a little more space when we come in, and we have to give the way to the other rider. And like I said, I think it's more easy when you are arriving into the pits to see what's going on. That instead, when you are taking the bike, you have to wait, but you cannot see who's coming behind, if you have somebody close or not. So it's very difficult for the rider to see in this situation if somebody is close. You have to watch your mechanic. But there is a lot of people. One is hanging, two mechanics are hanging with the other bike you left. So in this moment, it's very difficult to understand who's the guy telling you to stop or to go, if you have a freeway or not. So I guess it's more easy for the guy coming in to watch where he's placing his bike, and then understanding if somebody else exiting. And this guy also that is exiting the pits is already in the front of the race. So I understand he's in advantage, so he don't have to lose that advantage, no? But sure, we need the other opinions of the riders tomorrow, and we will try to improve.
Okay, thank you all for the questions. Now we have social media with Mr. Stephen Day.
Hi guys, social media questions are back, and as a reward for winning 2 races on the trot, we will start with Marc. Your question is from Dennis Van Deen on Twitter. He says, Mario Andretti once said, if everything is under control, you're not going fast enough. Do you agree?
Completely agree. When I have everything under control, it's like I feel too much the risk. You must to have something there to be a little bit under control, because then I don't know, everything is more fluid, and you can take a little bit more risk, but then it's a little bit more difficult to find the limit. So, but yeah, this is a little bit my style. It's true.
Thanks, Marc. On to Maverick. Del Renance on Instagram asks, how did your life change when you originally came into MotoGP with Suzuki? And how did it then change again when you moved to Yamaha in terms of lifestyle, your spare time, and more fans, etc.?
The first time I came in Suzuki, the media schedule was amazing. I didn't believe, coming from Moto2. But then when I changed to Yamaha, it was 2 times more. So I even spent much more time with the media. So it changed a lot, especially on the media, and then the time I focus on the way to train and the way, totally my life turns around the MotoGP.
Thanks, Maverick. On to Valentino. This is from Nikki on Facebook, and Nikki is asking about your favourite overtakes. Is the pass that you made on Jorge at the final lap in Catalunya your favourite overtake of your career, or do you have any others that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I think that was maybe the best, because especially because it was the last corner, and I don't remember another overtaking the last corner with MotoGP, maybe with 125 or 250. Also the battle with the Stoner in Laguna Seca, I think, is at the same level, but the overtake on Jorge was more excitement because it was Sete anche. La scorda, è vero. È vero. No. Yeah, but after we have a bit problems, I vero, also with Sete, yes. The battle on the last corner is always the best, and the one with Jorge, yes, I think was great.
Thank you. Next question is for Pedrosa, Dani Pedrosa. Rebecca on Twitter has seen your James Bond movie and wants to ask you this. If you were creating a James Bond film, which riders would you pick to star in it, and what roles would they play?
Normally you need time to think about this. Do
you want me to come back to you? I'll give you time to think about that, and we'll come back to Dani in a moment, so you have some time. Next question, we go then to Cal. We have a question from Aussie MotoGP fan on Instagram. If all of the MotoGP riders were stranded on a desert island, who do you think would survive the longest, and why?
I don't know. They're all together?
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to go 2 ways. Whoever is the fattest, because they have the most fat stores, or whoever is the most aggressive, because they can eat the other people. I don't know. I would like to think myself would last the longest, but it doesn't matter, because how are you going to get off?
No one said anything about getting off.
Oh, but you own the island. I have to say myself. I would like to say me. I would last the longest.
Okay. Thanks, Cal. On to Pol. Simon on Twitter wants to know, are you often asked questions about your relationship with your brother? And does he get asked about you, and does it annoy you both?
Well, I think he knows more than me than myself, because I have very bad memory, but always he's the oldest brother, and for sure the oldest brother is in charge to take care of the youngest brother, not opposite. So normally when we were with the family and I was cheating him always, and he was always complaining about me, but because I was the youngest, I always had the reason. So for sure my brother have more than me than me to my brother. So
we have another question here about your brother anyway. Do you race differently against Alex? This is from Calday on Facebook. Do you race differently against Aleix if you are close to each other on circuit? Do you deal with him in a different way because he's your brother?
Last race, yes. I catch him really fast, and I had a chance in the last corner, but it was quite risky. So I think, you know, I was happy because I was 9th, first top 10 for our factory KTM. But if I would be in another situation, maybe I would try, and the consequences were not nice. But you know, it was the last corner. So yeah, always, you know, when you are fighting with my brother, I always take a little bit more of care than the other riders. Not because I think about that, but it just becomes, it comes, you know, like this, and the respect I have to my brother, I will never have respect to my rival. So it's also normal, I think.
Thanks, Pol. Finally, then, we'll move back to Dani. We will ask the question again. Doesn't look like we're any further, but if you were creating a film then, James Bond film, what riders would you pick to star in it, and what
So
roles
I would
they
not
play?
be in.
You can be in it if you
because
want.
I'm the director, no?
No, you're not in it then.
So I don't know, somebody has to be the good guy, so Bond, and somebody else has to be the bad guy, so, you know, looks like with Marc and Vale could be fitting well sometimes. And you know, I don't know, racing along the streets for, I don't know, maybe searching for some kind of secret tool to be faster and to be ahead of the world, of the control of the world.
Thanks, Dani.
There we go. Thank you all very much, gentlemen, for the answers and for the social media answers, and have a good weekend. Thank you.